What's up, everybody? My name's Adam McDormand, and this is Medium Quality. One of the major themes for me of 2021 has been getting to the point in my journey as a music appreciator where I realized that pressings of records actually matter. But I want to take a minute and revisit a moment in my life where the seed for that realization was planted, and talk about an experience where some unhealthy, maybe compulsive buying habits resulted in me learning a valuable lesson about the quality of vinyl record production. And in order to do that, we're going to talk a little bit about the Zombies, Odessey, and Oracle. Now, this is an album that my brother discovered quite a long time before I did. He was on a bit of a journey of musical exploration of his own, and he was listening to albums like Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues, Selling England by the Pound by Genesis, and even this album. I wasn't really into those sounds. I was really getting into heavier music, and it wouldn't be until much later where I would finally realize, he's onto something. And I went back to check out some of those albums, and they have been important parts of my musical collection ever since. In fact, one of the earlier albums that I ended up picking up was a copy of this album that had been reissued. I think it was a Big Beat pressing, and it was a beautiful sounding record. I absolutely loved it. But I had a problem. I fell into the trap of the allure of colored vinyl. I was buying all the colored pressings that I could get of the albums that I really liked. I was single and no one could tell me what to do. I would have these old used copies of albums or reissues that I'd had for some period of time, and then a new colored variant would come out. And I just couldn't help myself. I would often trade away the copy that I had and spend the money to buy the new colored reissue. That's exactly what I did with my Big Beat copy of Odessey and Oracle, and I purchased the Newberry Comics exclusive on colorful tie-dye vinyl. It just seemed to fit the aesthetic of this album too perfectly to pass by. When I got it, I put it on my setup, which, mind you, at the time was very modest. But even in that moment, I dropped the Newberry Comics exclusive tie-dye colored variant of Odessey and Oracle onto my turntable, dropped the needle, and realized that I had made a mistake. This sounded worse. I think it was at that point that I started to realize, hey, this isn't going to be sustainable. Like, you cannot continue to flip your collection like this, because you'll always be buying the next coolest version of the thing, always be chasing this dragon, and the result in this case, and perhaps in many others that I didn't even realize at the time, I was trading away something that sounded good for something that sounded not as good, simply for aesthetic purposes. I finally went back and got another copy of this album, and placed on my setup as it currently is, this relatively recent reissue by Craft Recordings sounds so much better. Where the Newberry version sounds kind of thin and noisy and just narrow in its soundstage, this sounds so much bigger, so much more lush, punchy in places. It's just an all-around better experience. I still have this nagging suspicion that my Big Beat copy that I traded away is probably still better than this one, but I've taken a big step forward. You know, I'm by no means here to talk trash about Newberry Comics exclusives. I have a handful of other Newberry Comics exclusive pressings in my collection that I'm quite happy with. The Odessey and Oracle one is a bit of an older one, and I get the sense that they've probably improved their process. They, like many other companies, have realized that people are actually going to listen to this stuff, that word's going to get out on the Steve Hoffman forums, and you at least need to do a passable job of quality control, of mastering, of putting out a product that is good all around. In the meantime, I'm gonna take it easy on the Newberry stuff. Again, not because I think they're bad, but just because every time I go on their website and look at their exclusive pressings of albums, that voice in the back of my head saying, hey, I know you already have that one, but look at that splatter. That looks nice, doesn't it?
That looks nice.
No. I'm not. I need to not do that. I gotta be happy with what I already have. I would love to hear from some other record collectors. How have you guys created some boundaries for yourself so that you have healthy spending habits? I'm still learning to control that behavior, and I would love to hear how you guys have managed it. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Until next time, guys, keep spinning that good stuff. What a time to be alive.